Welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. The tailgate show for the tailgaters. Done by the not-so-ready for prime-time pickers. Hosted by the Lunch Eaters Man of the Year and legendary broadcaster Bill Bubba Bussey. You only thought you knew college football. Call Mama Moon and saddle up for a football experience. Now, here's Bubba.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, and now your host of Bubba on the Lake and this podcast right here, the Tailgate Tailgate Show. Guys, it is a fun time of year. It is rivalry week. We have got some great picks, and we have a very special guest picker this week. Before we do that, let's review a little bit from last week. It looks like all three of us tied in our picks at 10-2. Jeff Berger was trailing by one, again the expert, at 9-3. And our overall standings for the year still have me in first place at 75-24, Nathan at 67-32, and Hunter at 66-33. So we got a real chase on for second place right now. The college football playoff rankings are out. We're going to look at that. But before we do that, we need to welcome in our special guest picker. He is on the phone with us from deep inside Clay County. He is a two-time Hall of Famer, Coach Jerry Weems. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and it's certainly an honor to be here on the show with you guys. And hearing those standings y'all have, there's no way I fit in y'all's category.
Coach, I don't know what happened to your feed there, but you were perfect when we were setting up. Now you sound like you're across the room.
You're right. It sounds that way in this.
Something changed between the test and when we went on the air.
Here I am again. Does it still sound that? Sounds like I'm in a barrel.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in the bathroom back there. Tell Bones to get you back on the microphone.
Well,
it's always interesting when you do the tailgate show. Uh-oh. You still there, Coach?
I'm still here.
Well, you're still deep in the barrel. Something changed. Did he get you off that microphone or something?
I don't know what happened. No, we haven't changed anything. They didn't make any adjustments.
There it is.
Now it's back.
There you are back. Let me welcome him again.
Right.
Coach Jerry Weems, two-time Hall of Famer, and also basketball state champion in 1991 and 92 for Clay County. Coach, welcome to the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Well, it's great to be here with you guys tonight. And, from listening to y'all's records on your picks, there's no way I can qualify to stay in the category with y'all.
No, I've heard your picks too. You're pretty smart, pretty sharp tool on this. So we're excited to have you on and pick your brain about some of these games that's coming up. Let me ask you this, and we want to dive into this if I can find it here. It was here a minute ago. The College Football Playoff Committee has put out their list, and I want to run it down right quick. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech at number 5, then Oregon 6, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Notre Dame at 9, Alabama 10, Miami 11, Tulane 12. And, of course, this will change based on conference champions. But if the college football playoffs started today, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Indiana would have byes. Tulane and Texas Tech would play. Notre Dame and Oklahoma would play. Miami would play Oregon, and Alabama would play Ole Miss. That's some pretty good games. Of course, it won't fall that way because of conference championships. Hunter, I'll start with you. Did the committee get it right?
Yeah, I think they got it right. The one thing I disagree with is Notre Dame being ahead of Alabama, just because I just feel like Alabama's had a better schedule, and honestly, they're the better team than Notre Dame, because if they play head-to-head right now, I think Alabama would smoke Notre Dame, but it is what it is. I'm not on the committee, so they see something I don't, I guess.
Nathan, what do you say?
Yeah, I feel like all in all, they did a pretty good job. I agree with Hunter, and for me, it's Miami being ranked behind Notre Dame just makes no sense to me. And I made this case last week, but I'll make it again. Miami beat Notre Dame week 1. and not a super convincing win, but it was a win. And their common opponent, NC State, Miami beat NC State worse than Notre Dame did. So if we're going head-to-head on these two teams, I don't see any reason why Notre Dame should be ranked ahead of Miami, other than they're the legacy school and the gold helmets have everybody mesmerized like it seems like Notre Dame does every year. But overall, I think the committee did a pretty good job, and this is all going to come out in the wash. I mean, we're to the point in the season now where whether the committee, thinks something or not, I mean, it's rivalry weekend. We are here. We're to the point where, the stuff's gonna settle. So we'll see what happens this weekend. But other than the Miami Notre Dame situation, I think the committee did a pretty good job.
Coach Weems, let me ask you, did they get it right? And I'm going to throw on a sidebar question to that. Is there an advantage not going to the SEC championship game? You could hold your position in the playoffs and not risk a loss. What do you think?
Well, I agree with what Nathan just said, first of all, about Notre Dame. And, I mentioned the other day on our radio show here in Clay County that the committee, I've always been against committees. I've never had enough confidence in them to trust what they're doing. But they've shown consistency with Notre Dame, and it's not just this year, but it's every year. Notre Dame continues to run up scores against overmatched opponents and get rewarded for it, while everybody else suffers for losing games against ranked teams. So, I think Miami right now should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. And then another thing that's funny to me about the selection committee, last year, Indiana, they put Indiana in their top 10 just because they were undefeated. And, people all across the country complaining about their weak schedule and all. Well, this year, it's just the opposite. Indiana's getting the benefit of the doubt. I've ranked, I think, number 3 right now, or is it number 2?
I think 2. I think they're sitting at 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, see, the committee just changed their stance right there. The only thing they've really been consistent on is Notre Dame. And then your other question, I think unless you're undefeated, I think there may be a disadvantage to making the SEC championship game.
I do too.
And I think right now Alabama, if they beat Auburn Saturday and they go to that championship game with 2 losses and lose, now they have 3 losses, and the committee has good reason, not to include them in the playoffs. So even though they have said that they won't penalize a team that's in a conference championship game, if there's enough 2-loss teams, I think that 3-loss team that lost that championship game would be eliminated.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to be on the short end of the straw here between Texas A&M and Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama. I really do think it could be negative to go to that game. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. Anything else standing out in the playoff rankings, Coach, that's noticeable to you that you want to draw attention to?
Well, I think the other numbers, the other places where teams are ranked is pretty much right. They've got the teams with the best records up there, and teams from major conferences. And then, of course, the group of 5 situation with Tulane, what that's doing is knocking another deserving team out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I know they're doing that to kind of give everybody a shot, but I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see, and it may work its way out. They may be without a coach here before you know it too. Coach, I'm going to ask you this, and we usually wait till later in the show, but I wanted to go ahead and get this out. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, they have said they will let us know what Coach Kiffin is going to do after the game. That is a very strange way to frame this, I think. If he was going to stay, wouldn't you say right now he's staying? And if that leaks out into the locker room that he's leaving for sure before that game, does it affect the game?
Well, I don't think there's any question that it will have an effect. But yes, if he announces Sunday that he's leaving, are they going to allow him to coach in the playoffs, or will he even want to coach in the playoffs? If it was me taking another job, I'd want to get to my job where I can start getting recruits lined up, because the first day of the signing period is next Wednesday.
Yeah,
and he's going to be behind the 8 ball if he doesn't leave and go to his new job between now and next Wednesday. But if I'm Ole Miss and he announced that, I wouldn't want him to coach anymore. I just want to appoint an interim coach and go from there and begin my coaching search. So, there's a lot of ramifications here. There's a lot of different ways people will look at it. And, I know Ole Miss people right now still holding out that he's going to stay, but they're really going to be in a bind if he announces Sunday that he's leaving.
I wish the NCAA has been made the bad guy in a lot of instances, and deservingly so. But I really do think what they ought to do is get the calendar fixed and have the transfer portals open after the bowl games, and also put on these schools that you cannot talk to these coaches until the season's over. I think they ought to move all of that, have a period where the coaches can decide where they're going, and then have the recruiting period open to that. That just seems logical to me, Nathan. Does it to you?
Yeah, well, we're clearly in an age of college football where money talks, and that's always been the case, but now it's even more of an in-your-face business than it's always been. And I like what Nick Saban said on College Game Day. We have to come up with some kind of guardrail against coaches leaving their teams high and dry. Ole Miss is not going to ever go back to an SEC championship without Lane Kiffin. Let's be real about that. And if I'm an Ole Miss fan, and we've made it this far where I think Ole Miss is sitting at 7th in the ranking, why would you want to just have the season kind of flush down the toilet because Kiffin took a job at LSU? That's not fair to the team. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to the donors. And I'm not going to stand in between a coach and a big $80 million contract or whatever it ends up being in Baton Rouge, which we all suspect is the case. But there has to be some kind of protection in place for the players that have worked this hard to be ranked 7 and are headed to the playoff. And now they're being told, hey, your coach is leaving. You're going to have an interim. That's the kind of situation that teams like Auburn find themselves in. We're not about to play for, potentially an SEC championship and a playoff game. So I think it's an awful system. I have a laundry list of things that are wrong with the NCAA. That's sort of at the forefront right now. But it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
The NCAA has been gutted, for lack of a better term, from the court cases. And I don't know what the answer is, but I think they need to get their calendar together. Hunter, you got anything to add to that?
Not really. I feel like everything will be more, right now we're kind of in that weird period of right before conference championships and rivalry week where we, if it started today, great, but, it's going to be one of those time will tell after the conference championship Saturday where everything's going to stand. So we'll see. We will see.
We will take a quick break. We'll be back with the picks that you can go to the bank with, and we will be back in just a moment. You're listening to the Tailgate Show.
One thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kind of just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The management advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters, done by the not-so-ready for primetime pickers. I'm your host, Bill Bubba Bussey, along with Hunter Bussey, Nathan Hall, and special guest picker, Coach Jerry Weems, two-time Hall of Famer. Well, guys, let's look at, we don't have to go far to look at some great matchups. Missouri will be traveling to Arkansas. Hunter, how you see it?
Yeah, I like Missouri in this game. Drinkowitz just got an extension. I just think the momentum is in their favor at the moment. Everything is pointing towards Missouri, so I got the Tigers in this game.
Nathan?
This one's going to be close. Arkansas is going to try to salvage what little pride they can, in this awful. I think 2-9 is what they're sitting at right now. Talon Green leads Bo Prabula in a lot of stats, but he doesn't lead in completion percentage. I think Bo has been a little bit more clutch. And that running back, Ahmad Hardy's got 1,400 yards. He's going like 6.67 yards a carry. I think Missouri is going to control the clock. I think they're built for a game like this a little bit more than Arkansas, who's been in coaching shambles and turmoil all season. It's going to be a close game, but give me Missouri.
Coach Weems, how do you see it?
Well, Missouri got their quarterback back this past week, Prabula, who had missed a game or two. And playing Arkansas, they're in some rough disarray right now. And, as far as their coaching situation and their future. And, Arkansas has piled up some of the lowest recruiting classes the last few years in the conference. And I think is really showing for them right now. I think Missouri wins this game easily.
Coach, I'm going to go with you guys. I think Missouri is on an uptick. Got their quarterback back. They have signed their coach to a long-term deal. He was tied to several of the openings, including Auburn. And I think they're going to be focused, and they're going to give the Hogs all they want. It won't help to call the Hogs. They're going to be under the bus. Look at them to be made into sausage before this game's over. LSU goes to Oklahoma. What do you say, Hunter?
Yeah, it's possible that LSU could have a new coach, after this game. But that I don't think that'll matter with the matchup they got. I think they're going to have their hands full with Oklahoma, who currently is, riding off the momentum of beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa. They beat Missouri last week. I think Oklahoma is going to run away with this one. Give me the Sooners.
Nathan, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think we are headed into the Kiffin era in Baton Rouge, but right now we are currently in the Frank Wilson era. And Frank Wilson up against Brent Venables. I mean, I don't know if I like the looks of that one. So, and Oklahoma's sitting at 8. They know a loss here bumps them out of the playoff. They're not going to let that happen against an undermatched LSU team. I think this game is probably going to be close heading into the final stretch, and then Oklahoma is going to make a couple of plays, maybe an LSU turnover, and they're going to kind of run away with it. But I've got the Sooners.
Coach Weems, how you see it?
Well, Oklahoma's played well all year defensively, and Mateer's back full strength now at quarterback. LSU, they don't know who they want as their quarterback, and plus the coaching situation. I think Oklahoma still battling for a playoff spot, and I think they won't overlook LSU, and they'll pound LSU pretty good.
Coach, I'm going with y'all. I think the Sooners have too much to lose. I think they are in the hunt. LSU is just not a good football team right now. So I see the Oklahoma Sooners at home holding off LSU. LSU might make it close, but I think Oklahoma will walk away with this one in the end. Now we got a game here, guys. It's going to tie into the coaching searches. Ole Miss will go down and face the Cowbells in Starkville at Mississippi State. Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. The fact that the AD at Ole Miss has come out and not really said anything regarding the future of Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, which could mean that he could be gone. And if that does get out in the locker room, then they could be kind of distracted by that. But that being said, if you look at these rosters on paper, which we say a lot on this show, I just think Ole Miss has got the better talent, and I think that's why they're going to pull it out in the Egg Bowl.
Nathan, what do you think?
We're not going to see Ole Miss's best game here. I think this has to affect you mentally, whether you claim it does or not. This is the future of your season. Are you going to have your coach, the coach that's put Ole Miss in the best 5-year stretch they've ever seen going into the playoff, and is he going to be there? Is he not? That has to affect you. At the end of the day, though, I think Blake Shapen, this quarterback at Mississippi State, he's a 6-year senior. He's a super senior, and he wants to go out with something that he can kind of show for his time at Mississippi State. So Mississippi State is going to land a couple of haymakers on Ole Miss probably early in the game and put the game in doubt. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've seen Ole Miss be dominant all year, barring a few slip-ups. But I think Ole Miss is going to win this one, and then, they're going to get sent into the coaching, situation. But I've got Ole Miss.
Coach Weems, how do you see it down in Starkville?
Well, one interesting fact about this series, 5 win teams are 6-1 in this series since 2002. And Mississippi State right now is sitting on 5 wins. And we know that Ole Miss is battling a lot of distractions relating to their coaching situation. And I think that will affect Ole Miss players. This game is being played at Mississippi State, so that's in the state's favor. Ole Miss has an outstanding quarterback in Trinidad Chambliss, but State has an outstanding quarterback in Shapen, as Hunter talked about. So, I think Ole Miss, they're fighting for this playoff berth, but, deep down, they're not sure if what their coach's situation is going to be when it comes playoff time. So, I think I'm going with an upset in this game. I'm picking Mississippi State to knock off Ole Miss.
Coach, wait a minute. You mean the upset air horn? Wait a minute.
That's an upset, all right. That qualifies as an upset. That qualifies as an upset.
Coach, I'm going to tell you, I think this is the most volatile game of all of them because there's so many bizarre things playing into this. I really think some of the seniors at Ole Miss needs to step up, take charge of that locker room, and say, look, guys, we're playing for a national championship. I don't give a rip about Mississippi State. I don't give a rip about Coach Kiffin. We're playing for ourselves, and we know what we got to do. We got to go out there and make our assignments, and it doesn't matter where Coach Kiffin is. We're going to the playoffs. And they're going to have that kind of attitude. Now, if they do, they can win that. If they go in there and a little iffy and cowbells get to ringing and funny things get to happening, it could be an upset. That's not a bad upset pick, Coach. I like that. But I am going to stay with the Rebels. I think they are just too good this year, and I think they got too much on the line, and they will find a way to beat Ole Miss. But Mississippi State, but this could be a very bizarre game. I mean, it may be a 5 overtime finish, something like that. You never know with this game, but I'm going to stay with the Rebels, but I respect that upset pick. I really do. Vandy will go to play at Tennessee. Vandy has something on the line. Tennessee doesn't, but Tennessee is a slight favorite in this because they're playing at home, I guess. I'll flip the order around. Coach Weems, I'll go to you first. How about Vandy at Tennessee?
Well, you're right. Vandy playing for a playoff spot at 9-2. Tennessee 8-3 right now, but they're a 3.5-point favorite in this game. And Tennessee dominant in their Florida win. Of course, Vandy was blitzing Kentucky last week. This game is going to be close. There's no question about that. And when you look at ESPN's Football Power Index, Tennessee actually is ranked number 16, while Vandy is 17. And I think how Diego Pavia plays Saturday will have a lot to do with Vanderbilt's fate. But for some reason, I think Tennessee will hold serve at home. So I'm picking Tennessee over Vanderbilt.
Nathan, what do you say?
In the battle of the transfer quarterbacks, I'm taking Diego Pavia. I love Vandy in this matchup. Tennessee has the worst secondary probably in the SEC. It's at least bottom three. Their corners have been battling injury all year, and when they are healthy, they don't impress me at all. And Vandy likes to air it out. I think Pavia is going to have a big game in Neyland Stadium. And Vandy hasn't beat Tennessee since 2005. So as a Vandy, a locker room guy, you know what's at stake here. This could be our only shot. I get that NIL has helped Vanderbilt a lot recently, but you're not going to have a lot of shots to beat Tennessee. And this feels like a pretty legitimate shot. So look for Diego Pavia to have a big game. Joey Aguilar, I think, is going to go shot for shot with him till the end of the game. But I've got Vandy by 3 points. Give me the Commodores.
Hunter, how do you see it?
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be kind of a scrappy game, but that's the type of style of play that Vandy has, especially with Diego Pavia. I do think this will be a close game. I think Vandy will get the job done in Rocky Top. I really do. So give me Vandy by 3 points also.
I think I'm going to go with Coach in this. It's a toss-up. I think Tennessee is a very good team top to bottom. They're solid. They easy could be 2 losses. And I think playing at home will be the difference. If Pavia's family doesn't get into any fisticuffs in the stands, I think the Tennessee Volunteers will hold serve at home, and I'm going with the Vols. Hunter, back to you. Texas A&M will travel to play the Longhorns. How do you see it?
Yeah, we were talking about this in the car ride this morning. Texas A&M showed a major blemish, even though they came back and won against South Carolina. They're playing at Texas, and Arch Manning has finally found his groove, especially at home. I'm going out on a whim here. I think Texas is going to win this game. I really do.
You got into my picks. I know. You're calling for an upset here, huh?
I am. The more and more I thought about it, I don't know. Arch is kind of. I think the country will agree.
Hunter calls for the upset and gets the upset air horn.
I just think the country right now can agree that Arch has finally found his groove, and it just makes sense for this to happen. I mean, it's kind of almost in a way written in the stars that if he does do this, ESPN will talk about him, even though there's a college football playoff going on.
It would be a legacy moment. It would be a legacy moment.
It would be, yeah.
Nathan, how you see it?
To me, while we're the Tailgate show, before we even get to the ball, I'm thinking about the tailgates. Like, as much money is flowing through A&M and UT, and the kind of food they got cooking up down there in Texas, the parking lot is going to smell good. It's going to be a tailgate extravaganza. On the field, I like Marcel Reed. He's been one of my guys all season. I think A&M is still a dark horse national title contender. I think they're that good, both on paper and, the committee likes to talk about the eye test. So let's use the eye test. I mean, they've looked great in all of their matchups, except for the Shane Beamer, situation, but they squeaked out of that one. But I like A&M. I mean, Arch has looked really good. Arch is playing some of his best ball right now. Texas, on paper, they're roster to roster, they're going to match up with A&M pretty well. But A&M is just so versatile. They can beat you in a million different ways. And you can only beat the teams that are on your schedule. And Texas A&M has done that week after week.
You mean the bottom of the SEC? Those guys?
Again, you can only beat the teams that you play. And they haven't played, the upper echelon of the SEC.
No, they have not.
I'll give you that. And that South Carolina situation was a little embarrassing. But, and it wouldn't surprise me if Texas won the game. But I'm picking the Aggies. I think I'm going to have to roll with Texas A&M.
Coach Weems, how do you see the big one out in Texas?
Well, Texas has always been known for their defense. But right now, in the last 4 games, they've given up over 30 points. And that's not a good sign with an elite quarterback like Marcel Reed coming to town. But, Texas, with a win, they're still clinging to a playoff spot if they can win this game. And, of course, A&M, even with a loss, I think A&M will still get into the playoff. But A&M's playing for high stakes, going undefeated and possibly a number 1 seed in the playoff. But, in history, Texas leads this series 77-37. And I'm thinking Texas is going to add this year. I think Texas wins this game.
We got another upset. The upset air horn is getting a lot of work this week. Well, guys, I talked to Hunter about this, and he stole my thunder a little bit on this. I think if you look at Arch Manning, he is a completely different player at home and on the road. The stats back that up. Texas A&M, I think the South Carolina game spooked me because I think that maybe they started getting a little tight, thinking, hey, we're undefeated, we got something, maybe looked ahead. That game concerned me. Now, they come back and won. I give them credit for that. Mm-hmm. But I really do think, and by the way, it's great to see this rivalry again. This has been one we've been missing.
Yes, I agree.
It's great to see this again. This will be, let me tell you, the hate in this game will be off the chart. And I'm going to go with the home team in this. I'm calling for an upset, the Texas Longhorns, to pull the upset over the Aggies.
I can see it. That's one I'm going to be.
That horn is getting quite the workout this week. I'm going to have to oil her up after this.
Yeah, it's going to need some
rivalry
WD-40.
weekend, man. You got to lay into the horn on rivalry weekend.
Well, it is. I mean, this is going to be the week that separates the men from the boys, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Hunter, Georgia will be playing Georgia Tech. The game has been moved over to the Dome out of Georgia Tech's normal stadium. I don't know if that was a good home field advantage for them or not, but they will be on the big stage over in the Mercedes Dome. How do you see this one, the Dogs and the Yellow Jackets?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game over in the Benz. I like Hayes King for Georgia Tech. I think he's a great quarterback. I think they're playing good offense right now. But that being said, I think Georgia is peaking at the right time, right before the playoff. Give me the Bulldogs in this game by 10.
Nathan, what do you say?
Yeah, I want to see Georgia Tech be successful, and watching their fans filing out of the stadium against Pitt last week was tough. I think they kind of saw their playoff hopes just evaporating before their eyes. And it's Kirby Smart. I know I say that like every week we're talking about Georgia, but it's Kirby Smart. I don't feel comfortable picking against him ever unless they're playing Alabama, because he's not capable of beating Alabama. That's a discussion for another day. But I like the Bulldogs here. I think it's not even going to be particularly close. It could be close in the first. I don't know. Give me Georgia by 10. I feel good about a 10-point kind of spread. And, I'm taking the Bulldogs.
Coach Jerry Weems, how do you see it over at Mercedes-Benz?
Well, first of all, I'm amazed at why Tech sold out their home game and moved this from Grant Field over to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But, with Haynes King, Georgia Tech has been very efficient on offense this year, and it's had a great year. But they're still 12.5-point underdogs to Georgia, and Hunter is right. Georgia is peaking at just the right time. They're getting stronger and stronger as we near the end. And you remember last year, though, things looked the same way. And Tech went into Athens and forced that game into 8 overtimes and really had several opportunities to win. So nothing is assured here.
Yeah.
But I think this year the winner will be Georgia.
I'm going to go with you guys. I think Georgia's just getting better and better. I like Georgia Tech. This is not your dad's Georgia Tech team. They're physical. They play. They're efficient on offense. A lot of people are saying that the coach over there may be the best coach in the country right now. Several coaches have told me that personally. So he's doing a great job over there. It'll be close, but I think the Dogs will pull it out. Ohio State goes to Michigan. Any way that Michigan can mess up Ohio State's run? Hunter?
I just don't see that happening. They, to me, have not shown really any weakness, and I haven't, I could be eating my words there because I haven't watched a lot of Ohio State, but they're the defending national champs. They're undefeated. They're playing good football right now. Give me the Buckeyes in this game. I hate to pick against the Wolverines. I like Michigan, but give me Ohio State.
Wouldn't you like to see Michigan just mess them up, though? Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, I know. Well,
it's very possible.
It would be funny, but they've won. How many have they won against Ohio State?
It's 4 in a row as of now. This would be 5, assuming they pull it off.
The meltdown that not only Ohio State fans would have, but ESPN would have because their pressures of Ohio State. is falling short again to the Wolverines. That would be comical, but
Herb Street would be so upset he might forget and leave his dog behind.
No, he might. No, honestly, he might buy another dog. One thing is for sure though, that defense is going to be relentless against the Michigan offense. I just don't see this game going any way in Michigan's favor. So give me the Buckeyes in this game.
Nathan, what do you say?
A lot of people have had a problem with Ohio State being ranked number 1. I don't mind it at all. My motto has always been, if you win a national title, you're number 1 until somebody beats you. Now,
I don't have a problem with that.
Ohio State hasn't played anybody outside of that Texas 14-7 win in week 1. Other than that, it's been a cupcake schedule. But Michigan has also played a cupcake schedule. They had Oklahoma, but they lost. It was a 2-possession loss. So both of these teams are very unproven. But here's what it comes down to. Michigan planted a flag in the middle of the horseshoe last year after beating Ohio State for the 4th year in a row. If Ohio State does not find a way to win this game, they have to cancel the football program. They have to just stop playing football. I don't care about the national titles. I don't care how successful they've been. If you lose 5 in a row to an inferior Michigan team after they planted a flag at the 50-yard line of your stadium last year, just cancel your football program. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Coach Weems, what is the magic that Michigan's got on them?
I've got Ohio State, though. I've got Ohio State winning.
Yeah, I took that from that.
They've had the upper hand on them for sure, but, I think Ohio State is the most talented team in the country. And, it's really strange to me. These Michigan and Ohio State are both top-tier teams in the Big Ten, but I think Ohio State will completely outman Michigan in this game and win this game easily.
Yeah, I think Ohio State has to be the favorite. I look to them to go in and win unless something bizarre happens, which does occasionally here on Rivalry Weekend. So I'm going with the Buckeyes too. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and look at some teams a little closer to home. It's the Tailgate Tailgate Show, and we'll be right back.
Hey Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled Cool Wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Grab a latte at Brew 63, linger over lunch at Fanny's, or take in a Lake Martin sunset at Kalijah Restaurant. Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tailgate Tailgate Show, the tailgate show for the tailgaters, done by the not-so-ready-for-primetime pickers. I am Bill Bubba Bussey. Hunter Bussey is along, Nathan Hall, and our special guest picker, Coach Jerry Weems, two-time Hall of Fame winner and a very, very smart guy when it comes to sports. All right, guys, in a little closer to us, Troy will travel to Southern Miss. We'll flip it around here. Coach Weems, how do you see this one?
Well, this is a key game for both of these teams. I think Southern Miss playing at home will beat Troy.
Short and sweet it is. Nathan, what do you say?
It.
Yeah, in the battle of the 7 and 4s on paper, it's really hard to separate these two teams. I think they're pretty evenly matched. because it is being played at Southern Miss, I think I'm just going to have to go with Coach. I'm going to say Southern Miss wins in a close one.
Hunter?
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here. They're both 7-4, but they have Troy favored in this game, and I think that I've been keeping up with them some, and they're having a really good season. Is Southern Miss good? Yes, but I think I'm going to roll with the Trojans in this game.
You know, being from Jack State, it's hard for me to pick Troy. I would if I thought they were going to win, but I think Southern Miss is a much improved football team. We saw them this year much, much better than they were last year, and I feel like they're going to have a big day at home and hold off the Troy Trojans. Closer to home, the Jack State Gamecocks will host Western Kentucky. The winner will go to the conference championship game. The loser's going to have some help from other teams. Western went into LSU last week and only lost by a field goal. So they're not going to be intimidated by a sold-out crowd in Jacksonville. It ought to be a heck of a game. And, Hunter, I'll go back to you. The Hilltoppers versus the Gamecocks. How do you see it?
Yeah, I kind of to a call back to last week's episode. Jeff Berger said, "What the heck is a Hilltopper, the ugliest mascot in college football?" And I agree with him. I don't really know what it is. It looks like Grimace's cousin from McDonald's, just in the color red.
The red ball.
Yeah, the red ball, if you will. But yeah, Jack State. It was a gut punch losing to Florida International. Was that who? Yeah, FIU last week. The turnovers at the end of that game killed them. This is a must win. And I hope Charles, and he probably has, it's Charles Kelly, has emphasized how important this game is on Saturday. It is a must win game to get in the Conference USA Championship game. I think he will have them battle ready. Give me the Gamecocks by 10 points in this game. I think it'll be close.
Nathan?
Yeah, this one's tough. Last week, when you told us that Western Kentucky was going to play LSU close, I was not fully on board with that, and I was proven wrong. They clearly, I don't know if that says more about them or LSU. I think it kind of says a little bit about both. But I'm going to roll with Cam Cook here. I mean, we've talked about him all season and what he's capable of. I think this game is going to come down to kind of just controlling the clock in the run game. And I think when you have the best rushing attack in a matchup like this, I think you kind of have the upper hand. And Coach Kelly, the job he's done at JSU has been incredible. So as scary as Western Kentucky looked last week, the Hilltoppers against the Tigers of LSU, I think I'm going to go with JSU.
Coach Weems, how do you see it?
Well, Jack State blew a golden opportunity last week down at FIU and, had a bad first half, had all sorts of opportunities but never could take advantage of them. And then, of course, 2 fumbles did them in there late in the game in the fourth quarter. But, Jack State's always had the upper hand on Western Kentucky. And as you guys said, this is a must-win game. If Jack State can win this game, they'll be hosting on December the 5th the Conference USA Championship game. And, I think Caden Creel is going to have to step up his passing game. Cam Cook and the run has been there all along, and Creel has had some big running plays as well. But I think Jack State's going to have to throw a little bit more in this game in order to win. But I'll go with Jack State playing at home.
Coach, you make a great point, and Coach Kelly really preaches the turnover battle, and Jack State lost 2 fumbles in the fourth quarter while they were driving deep. That could have been the difference in that game. Now, Florida International's not a they're not a pushover. They have beat Liberty, and they've also beat Western Kentucky. So they're a pretty good program. But this ought to be something. Western Kentucky likes to throw the ball all over the field. Jack State likes to run it. If the Gamecocks can control the clock, I think they win this game. If they get into a shootout, it could favor Western. But I'm picking the homestanding Gamecocks to pull it out and head to the conference championship next Friday. And then we have another little game that'll be on after that. Jack State plays at 1 o'clock, and I've been, reminding everybody to come out and cheer on the Gamecocks. By the way, I had announced it earlier on Coach Weems' show there at Classic Country in Ashland 90.9. Eli, we will be producing this game for TV. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. Eli Gold will be on the call, and we have a color guy coming in this week that has not done color before, but we're very excited about it. One Jeff Berger. So we're going to have a Alabama, icon and an Auburn icon calling the game for ESPN Plus, and I think the broadcast may be as interesting as the game.
That's going to be good. That's going to be a good combo.
Because they both like to talk, and it ought to be a lot of fun. And then after that, there's another little game going on down in Auburn, the Iron Bowl. Throw the schedules out, they say. It doesn't matter. Spooky things happen at Jordan-Hare, but sometimes it happens to Auburn. It's so spooky down there. Hunter, how do you see the Iron Bowl? I will never forget the Gravedigger throw. That had to be the most bizarre. If you look at the stats on completing that, you are more likely to get hit by lightning twice on a sunny day than to make that pass.
It was a crazy play, but it's another play that goes. It's another play in this rivalry that will stand forever. Why this rivalry is so good. But ever since Hugh Freeze has been fired as Auburn's head coach, Auburn just seems like they have finally kind of, I don't know, just they're playing a little bit better football than they were. It's not great football, but it's better. But that being said, the Iron Bowl, Auburn always plays up in this game, and so does Alabama. I think it will go to overtime, and I think Alabama will win this game in overtime.
And a close one. Nathan, what do you say?
We're going to see some craziness. 2 years ago, Auburn came in with 5 or 6 wins, was winning 10-0 in the fourth quarter, figured out a way to lose it. And then, of course, the Gravedigger play. There shouldn't have been any way Auburn could lose that game, and lo and behold, they figured out a way to lose it. I think Auburn offensively looks a lot better right now under Coach Durkin. I think the last 2 weeks we've seen a spark. They're going to be winning in the fourth quarter. Auburn is going to have a 3-point lead at some point in the fourth quarter, and it's going to look pretty good for them, and they'll figure out a way to lose the game. because and I hate to say that, as an Auburn graduate, I would love to see them be successful, but they're too dysfunctional right now. They're just too dysfunctional. And Alabama, even with the 2 losses, has a lot of stability under Coach DeBoer, whether their fans want to admit that or not. And I think we're going to see some fireworks. We're going to see some crazy plays. I think Auburn is going to have a fourth quarter lead and figure out a way to lose the game late.
Coach Weems, how do you see it down on the Plains?
Well, we all know the history of this game since it has moved to home and home. And we know what happened the last 2 times that it was played at Jordan-Hare Stadium. But let's look at this season. Alabama this year has found a way to win every close game they've been in. They beat LSU, South Carolina, Missouri, Georgia. And just the opposite is true for Auburn. They found a way to lose every close game they've been in. A&M, Oklahoma, Georgia, Missouri, Vandy. But over time, these things even out. And I think it's time for Auburn to win a close game. And they knock off Alabama this Saturday at Jordan-Hare.
Well, I got to knock the dust off the air horn again. Boy, that would be a big upset right there.
Coach, I heard you this morning. You said that it would be a great story if McPherson could kick a game-winning field goal, and that I agree. I think it would be a great story. I would like Auburn to pull this out, but I just don't know. I think Bama's a better team.
Guys, you're going to have to take your orange-colored glasses off here. I'm telling you, Alabama is too good.
They have not been on for years.
In this game, I think we're at the wishing well looking in and hoping. Alabama has a lot on the line. They're playing for a national championship. They are a good team. And Auburn is just not there. They don't know who their coach is going to be. And I think if Daniels does not get some drives going early, you're going to have the crowd chanting, "Give us Deuce, give us Deuce." And that's even going to be more divisive. And I think Alabama will actually win this game. It may be close at halftime, but I think they'll pull away 31-16 or something like that. I don't even think it'll be close in the fourth quarter. So there you go. I'm picking the Tide to win at Auburn. Guys, we'll be right back and wrap it up. We have some final thoughts to go over. You are listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, and those are the picks you can take to the bank. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Robert Smith for Awards to Remember. I hope you'll think of us for trophies, plaques, and awards. We're famous for our low discount prices, and our customer service is second to none. We were named as one of the top 10 awards dealers in the Southeast. We were a finalist for Alabama Small Business of the Year, and our website at awardstoremember.com is one of the best in the industry. Awards to Remember, where we don't just create trophies, we create memories.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, decals, and focus more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels wants to be your reliable printer. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels, 205-640-4552 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tailgate Show, and we have a few final thoughts as you heard the picks and a lot of upsets this week. The upset air horn got quite a workout. And, Coach, this is where we always let our guests plug away. Tell everybody what all you're doing. You know, I was going to run down your list of accolades and what all you do, but, I mean, we didn't have enough time in the first segment.
Well, you know, it's really quite simple. Since I've retired from coaching here at Clay County, I got into the radio business somehow or another. And, you know, years ago, I never dreamed that I would be in radio. But we had the opportunity, Coach Heron, and he approached me and wanted to know if I wanted to come in with him. He kind of gave me an outline of what the plan was. And we started it, and it's continued to grow. And I really enjoy doing it now, and, of course, I get to do all the Clay Central games, football and basketball, and do that with Rusty Taylor, another guy that works here with us for Classic Country 90.9. But right now it's just radio, and that's basically it.
Well, Coach, you do a great job. I've got to hear you do the games. I hear you during the week, and you know, I'm a big fan of what y'all are doing there at 90.9 Classic Country. It's a Radio Alabama property, and you guys have a lot of fun. We enjoyed being on with you this morning. Hunter and I was over there celebrating Thanksgiving, and that was a lot of fun. And you're the older brother of Coach Ricky Weems, that was one of my teachers in high school, and actually my driver's ed teacher. So when I drive bad, you just have to blame him, I guess.
Well, have you got any tickets here lately?
Well, no, I'll tell you, on Highway 9 coming to Ashland, though, there's some people that have somewhere to go like me, and then there's other people that apparently are out sightseeing, and that can be a little aggravating sometimes.
Well, you see that in Clay County a lot, and you also have a lot of interference with pulpwood trucks around this area as well.
Yeah, I try to...
driving...
Go ahead.
The things you learned in driver's ed probably paying off in that regard.
Well, we never really covered getting around pulpwood trucks, but if you've got it under the hood and you got clear vision, a lot of times you can get around them. But Coach, we really appreciate you being our guest picker. You added a lot to it this week. And guys, I want to thank you again, Hunter and Nathan. Thank you guys for being here. Nathan, I know you wanted to plug away on your old high school a little bit, huh?
Yeah, just as soon as we get off here, I'm going to head up to good old Rainsville, Alabama, to watch my alma mater, the Plainview Bears. You like to call them the Plainview Dancing Bears?
Well, that was their mascot. It was a dancing bear.
Well, they're about to play one of the biggest football games they've played in a long time in a semifinal matchup against Anniston for a trip to the state finals. And by the time this episode airs, I guess that game will have been played. But no matter how that game turns out, it's been a phenomenal year for Rainsville. Coach Dale Pruitt, who I had the opportunity to play for many years ago, he's done an incredible job. That entire staff has done an incredible job, and it's been fun watching Plainview have the success they've had this year.
You know, Nathan, I told you this before we started. You may be shocked, but I actually led a pep rally at Plainview one time, home of the Dancing Bear. And our mascot was a balloon man, and he fell down the hill and rolled and it's very steep over there outside the stadium. And he rolled to the bottom. Some people thought he was dead. I thought it was funny because I knew he was just laying there to get attention.
There has to be video or photo somewhere in the Plainview archives, somewhere in the records. I don't know how we get that.
It probably had to be in the mid-'90s, maybe late 90s, that Rick and I were there and we did a pep rally. If somebody has footage of that, please get it to me. Please get it to me.
I'll do some digging. I'll see what I can uncover.
You know, I don't know how deep the archives are there at Plainview, but somewhere on that back shelf, there's a winner back there somewhere.
That's it.
Well, guys,
Bubba, you said balloon man.
Yeah, it was a big blue balloon man with white hands and white shoes. And Coach, when he went rolling down that hill, there was feet and shoes and gloves flying everywhere. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. And he seemed like he rolled down that hill for 30 minutes.
You know, he may be here next week for the Christmas parades in Limeville. And I understand you're coming, but you're a real balloon man.
I need to plug that. Betty and I and Hunter will be along. We're going to be Grand Marshals of the Lineville Christmas Parade next Tuesday night. So looking forward to seeing everybody out there. And I understand Coach Herring's inviting everybody over for hot chocolate when it's over. Yeah. I appreciate him doing that.
Well, he's doing a good job with that PR work right there.
He is. Yeah, we really enjoy it.
I'm excited for that parade. And Dad, I've told Dad this several times. It makes him laugh. But I love nothing more than seeing these kids go after candy, and I will make them run routes to earn their candy at the parade. I'll get them set and get them going deep.
Listen, we're going to have a bag, and we're going to be wearing it out down there. So we're looking forward to it, Lineville. We will see you next Tuesday night. I think the parade starts at 6 o'clock, so we're excited about that. Guys, thank all of you for being part of the show. Thank all of you for joining us. And don't forget our webpage, the Tailgate Tailgate Show. It has all the information you need to know, including our radio partners and when you can hear this on the radio if you don't catch it on the podcast. And we're going to try to get this one out a little early this week, too, so you can catch it on the way to your favorite high school game. So till toe touches leather again, thank all of you. God loves you, so do we. Take care and be careful. Enjoy this wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll see you next week on the Tailgate Tailgate Show.
Hey, Auburn fans, this is Lois Ann Murphy, your owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Alex City, located on Highway 280. As a former Auburn cheerleader, football is my favorite time of the year. Tailgating and Chick-fil-A are a perfect match. Let Chick-fil-A Alex City take care of all your catering needs. We have a variety of trays, nuggets, mac and cheese, grilled Cool Wraps, and more. All are perfect for your tailgating needs. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app or call 256-289-7955 and War Eagle.
Land is more than just dirt and timber. When you manage it, you're a steward of wildlife and a caretaker for future generations. The Management Advantage was built for people like you. For over 20 years, they've shared proven knowledge from some of the nation's top land and wildlife managers. From food plots to predator control, it's education that turns passion into a lasting impact. Have the advantage on your property. Subscribe on YouTube and follow the Management Advantage on social media today.
On the water or off, experience lake life to the fullest at Russell Lands on Lake Martin. Spend your mornings with breakfast at Fanny's. Afternoons, you can explore over 100 miles of trails through Russell Forest. And for dinner, how about the Southern farm-to-table flavors at Springhouse? Whether you're here for the weekend or you've made your home at the lake, Russell Lands is where community and the land come together. To learn more about upcoming events, visit russelllands.com. Come see what lake life is all about.
You've been listening to the Tailgate Tailgate Show, a production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees, all rights reserved. Be sure to like and follow and subscribe to the show and all social media. Contact information is on our website at thetailgatetailgateshow.com. Until next time, may your coals stay hot and your tent stay dry.